Greetings, my esteemed colleagues. This is Mr. Blynn, New York City math teacher and virtual content specialist with Grade 7, Unit 7, Day 15, Drawing Triangles Part 1. This is video 2 of 3 for Slide A. Which triangle doesn't belong? Using Google Jamboard. First, how to use the Jamboard for the activity. Second, how to create a Jamboard for it. One great way to implement which one doesn't belong in a virtual setting is using Google Jamboards. You can set up a Jamboard like this, present the question to students, and if it's collaborative with the whole class, students could add a sticky note with their name and their answer here. Click Save. Cancel because otherwise you keep typing. And then the Jamboard could be populated with all these different sticky notes. You could also then group the students virtually in this way. You can ask students even to color code their answer. Anyone who says triangle A, please use yellow. Anyone who says B, please use pink. And any student who chooses C, choose green. And any student who chooses D, please use blue. Then they can also be grouped that way. And students can share their answers either in their pairs that they were working before, or groups, or share according to the one they said didn't belong. Once again, this Jamboard could be a collaborative with the entire class, or a collaborative within each team, or pairs of students, depending on whatever way you choose to share the Jamboard. Students can be assigned different pages as well. You can click on this and you can see all the pages. You can duplicate this page. This is a very useful thing to do. Of course, I would erase the students' work prior to duplicating. If I wanted to duplicate this, I would erase the students' answers and then duplicate the blank one. And then assign, each team could be assigned a different page in the Jamboard. I type in my directions and instructions using a text box. Students, please write your name and your answer here on a sticky note. Thank you. I also might want to include the routine here as well. Add image, go up here, pull up the folder where the picture resides. This is what I'm looking for. There it is. Click this here, and now I can use this slide to teach students about the routine, and they could use it as a rubric so they know exactly what they need to do to complete the assignment successfully. Share the document with who I'd like. I can also, by clicking on these 3 dots, make a copy, name it the Team 1 copy, click OK, and then I will only share it with students who are members of Team 1. If you have each student working in their own copy of these slides, but then you'd like them to contribute to a collaborative Jamboard, you actually could put a link right here to the Jamboard. Start with the class Jamboard in which you want each student to share. Click the Share button. Change. Make sure each person is an editor. Add all your students here, and I'll click Copy the link. Now go back to the individual slides made for each student. Select, right-click, Link, right-click, Paste, and Apply. And now when student 1 has written his or her answer here and is ready to share that, copy, click the link. They will get to the class Jamboard. They can then click for sticky note, and since it is triangle A and it's yellow, enter their name, student 1, and their answer. Click Save, cancel, and then student 1's answer will be here, and this will be populated with all the student answers that they copied and pasted from their individual slides, because part of the routine is to give the students individual time to think, so they can think as individuals, write their answer here, copy it, click here, click again, go to that Jamboard, and enter their answer here. Then students can discuss their answers in teams or share and discuss in a whole class setting. Whatever modifications you make to the students' individual slides, especially and including this link, I encourage you, please do this before you make a copy of this slide, one for each student. Before I make student 2's copy of this, I definitely want to make all the modifications first, then make the copy, rather than having to repeat the same process 20 or 30 times. if I were to use Google Classroom for this assignment, the slides, each student would get their own copy. And then since this is collaborative, I would make it so the students can edit the file. They can visit that place to then enter their answers for slide A. Or since there will be a link in each student's slide to go to the Jamboard, I don't have to necessarily include that. However, if I'm assigning this to different classes, I'll have to make a different class copy of each Jamboard. And each class will have their own slides to link to that class's Jamboard. In summary, to avoid confusion, each class will have their own set of slides, even if they're for individual students, and each class will also have their own Jamboard, even as it's a collaborative Jamboard. That way they're linked together and not confused one class to another. That's very important even if you're not using Google Classroom. Now, if you already know how to add images to create a Jamboard for the class, then you can stop the video here. You're ready to rock and roll. If you need to get more acquainted with and how to take screenshots and add them to a Jamboard to create the Jamboard, then please stay here and I'll show you all that right now. Suffice it to say that each different device has its own keys that must be pressed simultaneously, or hold one key down and then press the next key to take a screenshot. For a Chromebook, an iPad, Windows laptop or desktop, these 2 keys or these 3 keys. And for a Mac, Command-Shift-3. For a screenshot of the whole screen, hold the Command, the Shift, and press 4 to take a partial screenshot. We will take the screenshot now, and your screen will flash like that. Then you can go to Pictures, Screenshots, and there it is right there. Double click it to open it, then click Open, and open any program that will allow you to edit, because we're going to crop the triangles and go back and crop the question, and then add these things to the Jamboard. So click Photos, click on the photo, and click Crop. Apply. Save a copy. And then go back to the desktop, and that image is still here. We repeat the same exact process to get these questions. I've got this Word document here which includes this routine, which I would like to also include in the Jamboard. One shortcut is to click Control-N and open a new Word document. Insert, Screenshot, Screen Clipping. Will also allow you to take a partial screenshot and just grab this one image here. Right click on it, save as picture, give it a name that I'll remember. Click Save. Go to Pictures, Screenshots, Rename. Rename these things similarly so I can find them later. Right click, Rename. Hit the Enter key. Rename all the screenshots similarly, and they will all be in the same place. Jamboard.google.com. When you get to Jamboard, you'll see a little plus sign on the bottom. Click it. Copy paste from the lesson itself. Click here to rename. Right click, paste. Okay. What I like to do is use these 2 squares here to move this off to the side. Got the folder where the images are. This little thing that looks like a mountain, add image. Click it. Click and drag it, add the question. Repeat the same process for the other images. Click this square again, make it larger. And I've got everything I need right here. Click the text box. Click here. Directions here. And I can also change the color. Duplicate this slide. Clicked on it. Click here. I took this out because this is for the students. Here are the sticky notes. You can add a sticky note. Add the instructions. Click Save. Cancel, otherwise you keep typing. In the same process, you can add other notes here. As I showed earlier in the video, duplicate the slide. Now your document is ready to share. I sincerely hope you and your students do enjoy using your Jamboards for the Which One Doesn't Belong activity for Slide C.